Welcome to the Finest Program Podcast, a podcast focused on the people who serve, protect, and build our communities. Powered by Comprehensive Medical Care. Now here's your host, Gary Sigilitano.
Welcome. This is Dave Marchetti. He is a police officer in the state of New Jersey, pretty good agency. The reason why we're here, Dave, is this is the second episode of the Finest Program. We did a podcast maybe like back in August, and we got pretty good traction on it. So we figured we're just going to keep rolling.
Keep it going.
It's funny because we could have, patients on here and people that go through PT, have injuries and stuff like that, and we could talk about medical stuff all day. But the idea that we had was, let's get people with different types of backgrounds on, and just get the word out about the program and just have normal conversations. And I think having you on here was one of my top priorities because it's something that's important to me. I know it's important to you with physical fitness. Physical fitness in law enforcement in general, I think, is lacking, for better terms. There's some guys that take it incredibly serious, and then there's some guys that, they probably haven't done a push-up since they graduated the academy. And not only is it hurting them, hurting their families, but it's hurting the guys that they work with,
Overall job performance sometimes.
Their overall job performance lacks. And I think talking about it is the first step, to try and build in a program to make it better in every agency.
Yeah.
I know the agency that we come from, being fortunate to work together, we have a good program, I think, and we're actually headed in a better direction.
Yeah, we're working on building it better right now.
Building it better. A couple years ago, we redid our gym, and we got state-of-the-art equipment. It's not the biggest gym in the world, but it gets the job done for the shifts that we have. Mm-hmm. And we're fortunate enough to have an hour a shift to work out. So being on the 12-hour shift, that hour,
it's a big difference between, just waking up, going to your shift, whether you're day shift or night shift, and not being able to go to the gym that day. Being able to use that time, I think, is very important.
Yeah, it's huge.
Because it'll break up your day, gets you moving a little bit more, and you might not be able to do the hour or 2 hour workout that you have. You really crush a 45-minute workout where you're getting everything moving, everything's going, and
keeping the blood flowing when you're at work. Sitting in a car for 12 hours, for the guys that do work 12-hour shifts, and there's a lot of agencies across the country, especially here in New Jersey, all our neighboring towns, they all work 12-hour shifts. And if you think about it, you wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, mm-hmm. You go right to work, you get in your car, you work for 12 hours. By the time you get home, the last thing on your mind is, I need to get a workout in, I need to get a run in. It's, I got to pack my food for tomorrow, I got to take a shower, and I got to go to bed. Yeah, make dinner, and I got to go to bed.
Still have to do the stuff
and
that
the stuff with your family,
every other person in the world has to do to wake up for the next day.
The shifts are great. It's awesome. The time off and all that stuff is great, but putting in the workouts is key. So, like I said, we're fortunate enough, we get an hour shift to work out. I mean, how great is that? Longer 12-hour shift, you're like, you know what? We got enough guys working the road, shift's covered. Hey, tell your supervisor, hey, I'm going to get my workout in, and go and get the blood flowing. It's definitely an advantage, and I think it's something that, you tell me if I'm wrong, we as more senior guys in law enforcement, with our years on, we need to start preaching this to other guys, to start talking to their administration, to start letting them work out.
Yeah, and the difficult part is, even in our agency where we get that hour, we still have guys that don't
utilize it. It's underutilized for sure.
Trying to break that mold of go and work out, or just stay on the road for 12 hours. You don't have to do it. It's difficult because you get a lot of headstrong, officers. That's think of a police officer. That's your personality. You are set on what you want to do, and you have a pattern of doing things every day. So to break that, it's very important to get back into being physical.
100%. Yep. And there's nothing better than at the end of your workout feeling like you accomplished something. other than police work. Obviously, we accomplish so much, you know, when we're working, but having a personal goal of, hey, I got to work out every shift I work, you know. If you think about it, I mean, I'm not a great numbers guy, but if you work a 12-hour shift, you're working about 180 shifts a year, give or take, right? 365 days in a year. You're talking about 50% of your year, you could get your workout done at work. If you're allowed, you know, if you have some kind of program in place. That's half your year, your workouts are done at work. We work a physical job. We're always, you know, not only the hours, but, you know, physically, it's an exhausting job.
Taxing. You're walking, you know, in some cases you have to run.
You have to run, yeah.
Jumping over things, you know, it's not the standard typical, you know, type of
I mean,
activity you have to do.
If you look at it like that, you have 50% of your year is at this agency, at your agency, and the other 50%, you know, you could fill that workout time in on your own. I mean, I do it, you do it. I know hundreds of guys that do it. So, again, getting that program in place, I think, will definitely, definitely be a start for a lot of guys. So, what do you think the type of workouts? Not getting into like specifics, like, you know, not drawing up a workout plan here, but what types of workouts could guys, you know, start doing to get into a routine to, you know, better themselves as law enforcement?
So as with everybody, you know, everyone's different.
Everybody.
You know, but, you know, a good rule of thumb is a whole body workout, full body workout. You know, you need to be running, you know, whether it's for endurance or sprinting to, you know, essentially build up, you know, just your reactivity to things and then, you know, whether you like to do weight training or calisthenics, you know, I think they're both important. You know,
everything's important.
Not everyone weighs as much as you do.
Yeah.
You know, if you weigh 185 pounds and you need to lift or pull someone that is 300 pounds, you know, so it's important to incorporate strength as well as just body weight exercises and doing it all in a manner that will elevate your heart rate, so you can build up, you know, just endurance and being able to recover faster.
No, I agree. Now with the working out, and we talked about the, you know, I know we keep talking about 12-hour shifts because it's a popular shift of work. I mean, you could talk about an 8-hour shift, you could talk about a 10-hour shift, even 10-hour shifts is a long time. With the physical fitness and you know, getting your workouts in and stuff like that, I know you've said this to me 1,000 times because I'm horrible at it, but the sleep portion of it and you know, getting your workouts in, eating right, but tell me how important the sleep is to you so you don't get injured while you're doing this, because you got to realize is the whole point of this working out is to prevent injury, right? Essentially is what we're doing. We want to be able to do extreme things with our body at work and not get hurt, right? So how important is the sleep aspect to you?
And I'm guilty of it myself.
We all are. I think we all
not getting enough sleep. It affects everything that you do. You know, whether you're, you know, like just the other day I got 2 hours of sleep because, you know, whether I couldn't fall asleep, I had, you know, too much coffee because
that's what we do.
The world runs on coffee.
Caffeine,
and you know, it's just whatever the byproduct of it was is I didn't get enough sleep, and then in turn, it could affect your whole day. You know, your overall performance or productivity, or you're just groggy. So sleep and recovery and just allowing your body to actually relax. You know, it's a big deal. You know, that optimal 7 to 8 hour.
And it's hard for a lot of guys to get.
Window.
I mean, you're talking about working a 10, 12-hour shift, and you got to come home. You got to take care of kids. You got to cook dinner. You got to get ready for tomorrow.
Decompressing, essentially.
Just to get that sleep.
Just to get
that 7, 8 hours. It's hard. I mean, but it's got to be, you know, on everyone's priority list as best they can. We all love to work overtime and road work and all that. But imagine working a long shift and then it's like, all right, I got to be back in it. 6 a.m. I got that road job, and then you got to go back to work at night. I mean,
yep. And that's the time you're in, not even the time you're waking up.
So and travel time and all that stuff. Like
exactly.
Has travel to work.
So it's very important to allow your body to recover and sleep and just relax, and you got to think of it as that is you time.
Yeah.
And you're affecting that.
Yeah.
By always go, picking up overtime, or you force yourself to get a workout in after work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. So you said something that I want to touch on. You said, not getting enough sleep and, sucking down coffee. So what I want to get in with the caffeine, and, I've been talking to people about this because I've been seeing it. It's like a trend, and I don't know why, if it's a generational thing or whatever. I know that when we started, right, I started a few years before you, but when I started, even when you started, we all had a cup of coffee, right? Got our caffeine in the beginning of the shift. Have you noticed now that it switched from coffee to these high caffeinated energy drinks? Or whatever the brand may be. I'm not going to name brands because I think they're all a scam. They're
dietary supplement,
they're horrible.
Whatever.
Read the shit in there, and it's the worst stuff you'll ever see. But I'm watching guys, the beginning of the shift, and 2 hours later, 3 hours later, talking 3-4 of these energy drinks in a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, whether they're young or old.
Young or old. I mean, how bad are they compared to having a cup of coffee? Do you think? I think they're trash.
It's my opinion. I don't think they're very good for you really at all. And they can put all the product labeling on it that they want, whether it's beta-alanine, every amino acid under the sun. At the end of the day, it's just a slurry of everything put into a can. Yeah. Whether it's carbonated or not, and it tastes good, acai or orange or whatever, and
it's crazy.
And you're putting something into your body that
it's horrible.
If you could possibly make the healthier option, whether it's a black cup of coffee or even a little bit of cream or whatever you like, in my opinion, go with that.
It's crazy. I've noticed a trend too, and it's not just law enforcement, it's everywhere. You go into 7-Eleven, you go into Wawa's, whatever it is, whatever convenience store it is, and it used to be a case of different sodas. Now they got little thing of soda in 75 different brands of fucking energy drinks.
Exactly. You see someone walking down the street with a Red Bull or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. What do you think when it comes to like the newer guys that are getting hired? Obviously, there's a huge, we call it a generational thing, right? Yeah. And you see the way that they worked out at the academy because they were forced to. It's their thing. Do you see the decrease, I guess you want to say it, in performance with these guys? Because just from the little things that I see, I think that our generation, and even the generation before us, older guys in law enforcement, when we PT'd, when we had physical training, I mean, we were PTing. We gave it our all.
You're getting smoked.
Our scores when we had to do tests were like here, and now you're looking at scores today, and it's like, man, they're passing.
So, to your point here, even when I went through, and it was after you when you went to the academy. My class, I had over 70, almost 80 guys in my class.
Yeah.
And I was just saying it the other day. We had over 25 people out of, that 500 score test. Yeah. We had over 25 people over the 400 mark, which is
it was
very good.
Very good, yeah.
And now, if you have a handful, and I mean a handful, maybe 5 to 10, that get over that 400 to 500 mark, you're almost happy.
Yeah,
but why are you happy? The steady decline from when I went through, which is 6 years to now, in my opinion, it's a little scary because you have all these young kids. We're talking 18 to 20, 29, 30, 32, however old. They just don't care. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
is
I think
you need to care.
I think care
and
is
to
a
push
big thing.
yourself.
Yeah.
And I see now that people are just doing it just to do it.
Yeah.
Because they have to, not because they will do it on their own time.
Yeah. Yep.
If that makes sense.
It's funny to see, like when we were younger, we would say like, oh man, I'm not going to be like that when I get that age, or when I'm not going to be like that. But now we are that age, you know what I mean? And we're now looking down saying, did we produce this? Did we do this? You know what I mean? And it's a question that we got to ask ourselves, but either way, we make it work. There's a lot of...
Well, we have to make it work, or else what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of young guys that we deal with on a regular basis that we work with, or, other agencies and we train with, that you're like, you wouldn't even know he's 19 years old. Because we still find those guys here and there that are they're up there with us.
Yes, there's still out there. There's a lot of people that do care. Yeah. But there's a large majority that.
Yeah. What do we do?
It's what is going on here?
Yeah. So, just to get off that, because I know we kind of we hit on caffeine and all that, which I wasn't even. That just kind of played part for what you said with the coffee thing, but
just went.
When it comes to the physical fitness and stuff like that, we touched on sleep, which is important, but the eating. I don't want to get into macros and micros and all this stuff, but what do you think is a good option? Because what I see and what you've seen and we've seen over the years is, you're working a long shift and you're stopping at McDonald's and scarfing down a Big Mac, or you're going to Wendy's, or you're going here and you're just buying shit food. I know, like me personally, I know you do. We're usually prepping our food, right? Or we use some of the meal prep companies. Once in a while, they do get expensive, but we do bring it in. I noticed that when I changed my diet, my injuries started not happening. Working out, eating clean, the sleep, all that stuff, the injuries kind of stopped happening. The injuries that I had. Obviously, we had a place to go. I had a place to go to get it taken care of with the finest program. But I think that food was probably one of the main things, in my opinion, that stopped me from getting injured. So, what do you think? What types of ways people should go about eating and not eating fast food at work every day?
Well, it all depends here, because there's people that love to cook, and other people that are, I don't have the time to cook.
Or the time. That's
they
huge.
might love to cook, but they don't have the time to cook. And then there's the others that I don't want to cook.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, you really have to invest in yourself with that one, because if you're not willing to put in the time to look into a cleaner diet, to clean things up, then you're just going to be stuck in that stagnant part. But there's so many options, locally. I know around us where we work and where we live, there's at least 2 or 3 different, meal preparation companies, or even going to your local grocery store and just getting the clean or healthier options that they have. Grilled things, whether it's the protein or the vegetables, or even rice or things like that, that you can just buy, and you're essentially saving yourself a couple bucks, even if you are making two meals for yourself while you're at work, because we work 12 hours. You're going to have your breakfast at home, or you're going to eat it at work, and then if you want to eat another time or 2 other times during the day, based off of what your goal is, or how much you want to consume, it's important.
I think switching from just going out and grabbing a sandwich and this and that. And,
that's the easiest thing, and that's a guilty pleasure for everybody.
Because it's so simple to do.
I love McDonald's, man. I could crush McDonald's, but you got to be able to be like, no, I can't do that. I every once in a while is good. You're not trying to be Mr. Olympia here.
I think the whole point is we're trying to get everybody, the longevity of their career. So you could be physically fit when you're young and eat like shit, and you're fine. But as you start to progress in your career, you start eating like shit, the injuries start happening. The career gets harder to do because you have to make it to 25. You have to make it to 30.
Well, it's something that needs to change internally. Before 100%. You're even like, I need to make that far. You need to realize that you won't make it that far.
Yeah.
And in turn, you know, cleaning up the diet, you're going to start to lose weight.
Yeah.
And then the strength will come along with training and the injury prevention.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, my biggest thing, and I say it all the time, and like we talked about earlier, is guys not utilizing the workout time at work, or, you know, not just our place, it's everywhere, or not having a program at home that they stick to, or a gym they go to, and not meal prepping their foods, and not getting enough sleep, and not having a place to go. I mean, I know it's hard to say when you have an injury, or you think you have an injury, or something is bothering you, not having a place to go and just go get it checked out. And what I'm getting at is with the finest program, at least finally there's a program that is being started, and it's taking off very well, you know, not just for officers and their family members, because now when you think there's something wrong or could be something wrong, you have a place to go and get instant results and instant idea on how to fix what is about to happen. Yep. So I think that with the amount of time we have to put into our careers, you know, guys need to start thinking in the future more and start making a huge lifestyle change.
It's not just impacting them, it's impacting everybody, their family, whether it's kids, just your wife, you know, parents, everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. So I appreciate you coming out and talking with me.
Thank you.
I think we got a lot accomplished in a short amount of time here.
I think so too.
And again, you know,
incredible here.
Yeah, it's awesome here, isn't it?
It's incredible here.
Full gym. Downstairs, we got, you know, awesome doctors, great staff, and they're here for law enforcement. They're here for everybody, but when it comes to law enforcement and their families, these people actually give a shit about us and actually want to see us get better and healthy. The whole goal is not to have you come in here for months. The whole goal is to get you in here and then never see you again. If
work with you to make you better.
And then once you get cleared from whatever injury, whatever's bothering you, they as much as they want to see you again, they don't want to see you, you know, for good terms. But I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Thank you.